Hello and welcome. Going to be playing something really near and dear to my heart today. Let's move it over here and ready, steady, go. Guess I'll be using a random name for this one. Call it, should be sufficient. Okay. What in the world am I? I'm a Harbour Seal. Cool. Couldn't think of the name of that thing. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm gonna try and let... Whoa. Whoa, 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 what was that? I'm gonna try and let him do the talking. But there's times in this where I feel like I'm forced to speak, and so I'll be speaking, but I'm gonna try to not spoil it. You can see, as a Harbour Seal, I have kind of a pretty good set of motion, better than a Harbour Seal would normally have. Everything sings. Singing is how things communicate. Singing helps things find or avoid one another, deepens bonds between some things and separates others. How things announce their existence. So sing. Sing all day long. I want to hear what you sound like. So does everyone else. Other things hear you, they might sing back. Sing to other animals. Press space, middle mouse button when you're cool, right? Just they've got the singing thing down. You see that cloud there? It's another mechanic of the game. This wall makes sense. Don't give up. Thank you. Keep looking and you'll find it. Thanks, Big Rock. It's an odd-looking animal. And they're wolves. Oh, this must be Arctic. Reminds me of a joke, but I won't tell it. So we got another one of those things over to the right. Let's go over there. Oh, there we go. And we press X. Hey, how far back do you think Harbour Seals go? You may not always feel it, but you took trillions of generations of Harbour Seals getting mixed up all the way back to forever. It's incredible you made it through and finally arrived here. The other harbor seals around here are reflections of you from back then, each with their own dreams and their own lives to live. As you meet other harbor seals, you'll sometimes feel inseparable from them, and find where you really start and end is up to you. Okay, so do you see any harbor seals? I only see one. Look at that. Majestic. See if we can get right up his nose. Other harbor seals are nearby. Join them by pressing or holding V when close. Let's see if we can find one. See all kinds of other ones, other types of things. I even see things that are kind of weird. Yeah, so V won't work until you've got yourself another harbor seal. Nothing to join here. Oh my goodness. Now, there are a group of harbor seals. Remember this place and remember what you are. Keep it in mind as you go beyond here. You might need to find a way back to it. This is what I failed in my first attempt at this game. I completely forgot about this and what I was originally. And so yeah, that part is important if you ever want to, complete the game. But I don't actually think completing the game is necessary. I actually think that it's probably, yeah, it's just unnecessary. There's another one of those mobs. I'm really enjoying the sun this afternoon. A little bit of trouble getting up to this one, right? So it looks like it went away and it reappeared somewhere else, but then I lost it. Let's see if we can... Oh, it's over there. There we go. There you are. Over time, you might find there's no right or wrong path to take here. As you explore, you might feel that parts of you need to go their own direction, because you can't control everything at once. At least not yet. Try letting go of a few things. Oh, I am 2 seals. Cool. So now we have, wait a minute, what? There's nearby harbor seal, got it, okay. So now we've got kind of a general idea of the game. You can pick them up and drop them off wherever you feel like. There's more to this game, obviously. Let's face it, the world can't handle my positive outlook. We lost one of our Harbour Seals back there because of a rock. Look closely and you will find what you're after. Okay. Don't get discouraged. Everything is here to help you. Aha. There's another. My first time through this took a lot longer than it's taking now. Hey, what do you make of that the small things around here? All the plants and little creatures? Are they here for you, or are you here for them? Hard to imagine that everything could be here for each other, as you can only see things from a Harbour Seal's perspective, just as I can only see from a Megaloceros' perspective. But if you want to, you can always see things from a little thing's point of view. Try it. Descend. Get close to something small, hold down left mouse button, select using WASD and mouse, release to enter. There we go, that was easy. So now we are in grass. It'll tell us so in a second. Yeah, you are rough grass. You can kind of see how the grass moves, right? Oh, here's some crystal. Hi friend, it looks like you've seen things from a little thing's point of view. Now you might be wondering what it's like to see things from the other way around, to see things from bigger things' points of view. Out of all the points of view you find, which one is the right one? Can ascend to a level above. Get close to something big, hold down, right click, select using WASD. Okay, so now I'm back to the Harbour Seal. Can ascend. Okay. Ooh. Be the rock for a second. So the rock can move like this. I like the rock's movement style. Layered rock. So I can ascend again to a tree. Okay, so now, oh, I'm a cedar. We can join the others. So now we are a group of trees. And we can ascend again if we so desire. Might sound strange, but I think I used to be a cedar once. You know, I look like a woolly mammoth and all, and I am. But I have been feeling I wasn't always. That there's something in me that's the same as you. I'm starving. It might make sense for me to sleep this summer out and wait for the next round of tree food to show up. Hey, we found our first circle.
I find it a little difficult to say what the subject matter of this seminar is going to be, because it's too fundamental to give it a title. I'm going to talk about what there is. Now, the first thing, though, that we have to do is to get our perspectives with some background about the basic ideas which influence our everyday common sense, our fundamental notions about what life is about. Ideas of the world which are built into the very nature of the language we use, and of our ideas of logic and of what makes sense altogether. And these basic ideas I call myth, not using the word myth to mean simply something untrue, but to use the word myth in a more powerful sense. A myth is an image in terms of which we try to make sense of the world.
That, my friends, is Alan Watts. Unless I am mistaken. Whoops. Yeah. Alan Watts is, wow. He is the narrator, I guess. You may think that he and I are, competing for narratorship. I hope this won't be my last summer. I have a strong feeling it will be. I'm glad I got to see it. So you may have noticed that this yellow thing keeps showing up, and the reason for that is that the world wraps. So you learn that pretty quickly on by going in one direction for a while, just seeing what happens. See, there it is again. And then if we go in this direction, we should run into it again. Yeah, there it is. See? The world wraps pretty sensibly. Right now I'm trying to ascend. As you wander around, you might sometimes feel a bit lost. That's normal, and you don't need to worry about it. Lots of things have passed through here and felt the same. Eventually everything finds what it's looking for. One thing about this game is that when you're very big, you're very fast, and you feel like you're going slow, but you're not nearly as slow as the small things. And that's one thing to realize about everything. Oh, I can ascend right now. Cool. So now, I am an ice continent. Now we are a blue world. There's my yellow sun. I like a blue world. You can kind of see that I can move, right? Oh, green planet, not a blue planet. Yeah, I'm over here now. Getting closer and closer and closer to these planets. You can see that they're kind of small, huh? This one's pretty big. It's giant. Oh, there's another circle. Let's go take a listen.
You, as a human being, you grow out of this physical universe in just exactly the same way that an apple grows off an apple tree. So let's say the tree which grows apples is a tree which apples, using apple as a verb. And a world in which human beings arrive is a world that peoples. And so the existence of people is symptomatic of the kind of universe we live in. Just as hair on a head is symptomatic of what's going on in the organism. But we have been brought up not to feel that we belong in the world. So our popular speech reflects it. We say, I came into this world. You didn't, you came out of it. We say, face facts. We talk about encounters with reality, as if it was a head-on meeting of completely alien agencies, and the average person has the sensation that he is a somewhat that exists inside a bag of skin, the center of consciousness, which looks out at this thing, and what the hell's it going to do to me? I recognize you. You kind of look like me, and I've seen myself in a mirror, and you look like you might be people. So maybe you're intelligent, maybe you can love too. And perhaps you're all right. Some of you are anyway. You've got the right color of skin, or you have the right religion, or whatever it is, you're okay. But there are all those people over in Asia and Africa, and they may not really be people. When you want to destroy someone, you always define them as unpeople.
Life mostly involves going out and entangling yourself with others. I want to show you another way of getting mixed up. A very beautiful thing you can do, and that's dancing. To dance is to move in a pattern and not towards anywhere in particular. To make yourself the destination. To enjoy, never quite arriving. Dancing always takes two. But the more the merrier. Everything dances a little differently, so try doing it with different things. So now there's the 8 key. Never expected any of this to happen, even though it's been going on longer than forever. Find ourselves some things. We'll join with them. can't join with this thing for whatever reason. So we'll go look for other things in my size, my sheep. Yeah, so that looks like a rock to me. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, so that's a rock. That's a planet, right? Must be. It's like I can't actually join with it, despite the fact that we're both planets. Oh, there's a planet that looks like me. Learning how to live takes a whole life. It takes a whole life to learn how to die. See if I can join. Maybe this is the wrong place for this. Yeah, maybe this is the wrong place for this. M key to open it. Got it. Is there anything outside of me? Is there anything inside of me? Cool. So now we have access to any of these if we want to go back. Let's not though. Oops. Escape will get me to that menu, and so then how do I get out of here? It's M, right? Yeah, it's M. Let's see if we can ascend. Okay, so now got another circle.
We have this hostility to the external world because of the superstition, myth, the absolutely unfounded theory that you yourself exist only inside your skin. Now I want to propose another idea altogether. Billions of years ago, you were a big bang. But now you're a complicated human being. But so we define ourselves as being only that. If you think that you are only inside your skin, you define yourself as one very complicated little curlicue, way out on the edge of that explosion, way out in space and way out in time. And then we cut ourselves off and don't feel that we're still the Big Bang. But you are. Depends how you define yourself. You are actually, if this is the way things started, if there was a Big Bang in the beginning, you're not something that is a result of the Big Bang. You're not something that is a sort of puppet on the end of the process. You are still the process. You are the Big Bang, the original force of the universe coming on as whoever you are. See, when I meet you, I see not just what you define yourself as, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. I see every one of you as the primordial energy of the universe coming on at me in this particular way. I know I'm that too. But we've learned to define ourselves as separate from it.
Have noticed that after becoming a planet, I became a sun, and now I'm a lenticular galaxy. And now I am 3 lenticular galaxies, and it is time to dance. You see that? That was cool, right? Purpose within a pattern, a shape with no center. An area with no space. It's all going on around you.
What I would call a kind of a basic problem we've got to go through first is to understand that there are no such things as things. That is to say, separate things. That is only a way of talking. If you can understand this, you're going to have no further problems. I once asked a group of high school children, what do you mean by a thing? And first of all, they gave me all sorts of synonyms. They said it's an object, which is simply another word for a thing. It doesn't tell you anything about what you mean by a thing. Finally, a very smart girl who was in the group said a thing is a noun. And she was quite right. A noun isn't a part of nature, it's a part of speech. There are no nouns in the physical world. There are no separate things in the physical world either. See, the physical world is wiggly. The clouds, mountains, trees, people are all wiggly. And only when human beings get working at things, they build buildings in straight lines and try and make out that the world isn't really wiggly. But here are we sitting in this room all built on straight lines, but each one of us is as wiggly as all get out.
thinking about other stones all morning. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing than a stone. Probably think you know where this game is going, and you kind of have it figured out. Do you think? I get the feeling that life has stopped here. Nothing much ever moves. Papa was a rolling stone. Where he laid his head was his home. You're the spookiest rocky mountain elk I've ever seen. Wait, what? Get out of here with them spooky vibes. But I'm not in Rocky Elk. The needling is my family. I need them and they need me. Thought about leaving them. I'm just not sure where I'd go. Maybe if I'd enjoy it more.
Now then, when you want to get control of something that wiggles, it's pretty difficult, isn't it? You try and pick up a fish in your hands, and the fish is wiggly and it slips out. What do you do to get hold of the fish? You use a net. And so the net is the basic thing we have for getting hold of the wiggly world. A net is something regular. And I can number the holes in a net. So many holes up, so many holes across. And if I can number these holes, I can count exactly where each wiggle is in terms of a hole in that net. But in order to do that, I've got to break up the wiggle into bits. And I've got to call this a specific bit, and this the next bit of the wiggle, and this the next bit, and this the next bit of the wiggle. And so these bits are things which I mark out in order to talk about the wiggle, in order to measure it, and therefore in order to control it. But in nature, in fact, in the physical world, the wiggle isn't bitted. So the world doesn't come thing. You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean. The ocean waves, and the universe peoples. And as the wave, I wave at you and say, you! The world is waving at me with you. And saying, hi, I'm here. But the way we feel and sense our existence, being based on a myth that we are made, that we are parts, that we are things, our consciousness has been influenced so that each one of us does not feel that. We feel we have been hypnotized, literally hypnotized, by social convention into feeling and sensing that we exist only inside our skins. That we are not the original bang, but just something out on the end of it. And therefore we are scared stiff. Gosh, my wave is going to disappear. And I'm going to die. And that would be awful.
to the game where I really got a hold of it. I kind of decided this was my type of game when I became a lightning whelk. Probably curious why a lightning whelk is any different than a pronghorn, or a layered rock, or a lenticular galaxy. Thoughts are the friction between things and other things. Thoughts would never exist if everything thought it was the same thing. As you go around listening to things, their thoughts will make impressions on your mind. When you go out and experience life, you will have your own thoughts, and they will reflect the things you listen to and absorb. Give thinking a go. Just try not to take it too seriously. Yeah, now we can think. And the eye is lit up, so have to show up. What about the lightning whelk? It was so important to me when I found it. I just became excited. Perhaps it doesn't matter what the thing was, but the time that it kind of got me. I was looking at so many different things and having a reaction to them. Come here. Oh, I lost it. Okay, well, how that goes sometimes. Let's count that. Oh, there's another.
You are a fluke. You are a separate event. And you run from the maternity ward to the crematorium, and that's it, baby. Now, why does anybody think that way? There's no reason to, because it isn't even scientific. It's just a myth. And it's invented by people who wanted to feel a certain way. They want to play a certain game. Camus said there is only really one serious philosophical question, which is whether or not to commit suicide. Should you or not commit suicide? This is a good question. Why go on? And you only go on if the game is worth the candle. Now, the universe has been going on for an incredible long time. And so, really, a satisfactory theory of the universe has to be one that's worth betting on. That's it seems to me, absolutely elementary common sense. If you make a theory of the universe which isn't worth betting on, why bother? Just commit suicide. But if you want to go on playing the game, you've got to have an optimal theory for playing the game.
Long before green continents were around, far back through time, all landforms were the same thing. A something that spread into every landform everywhere. Something all landforms still share here and now. You may find you aren't just green continent, but every landform in existence. Expression of this great pattern known as landforms. Everything secretly knows this, and you know it too. By holding Q. Okay, so I can go over here and I can flock with this. So similar and same. So if I do similar, oh, I can just hit V. And now I have 3 islands, or 3 continents rather. And this way I was able to get them very rapidly. Cool. Yeah, that's one of the mechanics of the game.
If there is any such thing at all as intelligence and love and beauty, well, you found it in other people. In other words, it exists in us as human beings. And as I said, if it is there in us, it is symptomatic of the scheme of things. We are as symptomatic of the scheme of things as the apples are symptomatic of the apple tree or the rose of the rose bush. The earth is not a big rock infested with living organisms, any more than your skeleton is bones infested with cells. The earth is geological, yes, but this geological entity grows people. And our existence on the earth is a symptom of the solar system and its balances, as much as the solar system in turn is a symptom of our galaxy. And our galaxy in its turn is a symptom of the whole company of galaxies. Goodness only knows what that's in.
What's that? Zebra? Yeah, zebra. Vultures over there. It's kind of cool, I think. Is it possible to die of confusion? What doesn't hurt you can only prolong your inevitable death. Like this guy's song.
When, as a scientist, you describe the behavior of a living organism, you try to say what a person does. It's the only way in which you can describe what a person is. Describe what they do. Then you find out that in making this description, you cannot confine yourself to what happens inside the skin. In other words, you can't talk about a person walking unless you start describing the floor. Because when I walk, I don't just dangle my legs in empty space. I move in relationship to a room. And so in order to describe what I'm doing when I'm walking, I have to describe the room. I have to describe the territory. So in describing my talking at the moment, I can't describe this just as a thing in itself, because I'm talking to you. And so what I'm doing at the moment is not completely described unless your being here is described also. So if that is necessary, if, in other words, in order to describe my behavior, I have to describe your behavior and the behavior of the environment, it means that we've really got one system of behavior. That what I am involves what you are. I don't know who I am unless I know who you are. And you don't know who you are unless you know who I am. In other words, we are not separate. We define each other. We're all backs and fronts to each other. We and our environment, and all of us and each other, are interdependent systems. We know who we are in terms of other people. We all lock together. And this is, again and again, the serious scientific description of how things happen. And any good scientist knows that what you call the external world is as much you as your own body.
As you experience all of the universe's things, each thing also experiences you. Things leave their mark on you as you leave your mark on things. And somewhere inside you is an impression of everything you've ever been. A great memory of things you can revisit any time and feel what it's like to be them again. You're always free to transform yourself into anything. Yes, we found the lightning milk. I'm glad that we did, because searching the entire universe for, this object could take a while. But we found it. I'm frankly terrified by being alive. I haven't been able to leave here for weeks. Think of what might be out there. What great big monsters are waiting to eat me. No, I'm better off staying right here. My route is my route. So now we have made it to the microscopic world.
Your skin doesn't separate you from the world. It's a bridge through which the external world flows into you, and you flow into it. Just, for example, as a whirlpool in water, you could say because you have a skin, you have a definite shape, you have a definite form. The whirlpool is a definite form, but no water stays put in it. The whirlpool is something the stream is doing. And exactly the same way, the whole universe is doing each one of us. And I see you today, and I recognize you tomorrow, just as I would recognize a whirlpool in a stream. I'd say, oh yes, I've seen that whirlpool before. It's just near so-and-so's house on the edge of the river, and it's always there. So in the same way, when I meet you tomorrow, I recognize you. You're the same whirlpool you were yesterday. But you're moving. The whole world is moving through you. All the cosmic rays, all the food you're eating, the stream of steaks and milk and eggs and everything is just flowing right through you. When you're wiggling the same way, the world is wiggling, the stream is wiggling you. But the problem is, you see, we haven't been taught to feel that way. The myths underlying our culture and underlying our common sense have not taught us to feel identical with the universe, but only parts of it, only in it, only confronting it, aliens. And we are, I think, quite urgently in need of coming to feel that we are the eternal universe, each one of us. Otherwise, we're going to go out of our heads. We're going to commit suicide, collectively, courtesy of H-bombs. And, all right, supposing we do, well, that will be that, and it'll be life making experiments on other galaxies. Maybe they'll find a better game.
Can we be friends? Can I be friends with myself? Welcome to the Oasis.
I wonder if it's ever struck you how curious a thing it is that most of the things that we experience, we regard as things that happen to us, which we ourselves do not originate, which are events expressing some sort of power or activity that is external to ourselves. And if you consider that, you realize that what you mean by yourself is rather narrowly circumscribed. Even events that go on in our own bodies are put in the category of things that happen to us in the same way as things that go on in the world outside our skins. If there's a thunderstorm or an earthquake, well, it happens to you. You're not responsible for it. But so in the same way, when you have hiccups, you didn't plan on it. If you have belly rumbles, you had no intention of doing it. And as to the catastrophic act of getting born, well, you had nothing to do with that. And you can spend all your life blaming your parents for putting you in the situation in which you find yourself. And this way of looking at the world in this sort of passive mood as something that happens to you goes right down to our general feeling about life. It goes down to the way in which we have been accustomed to look at human existence as a precarious event in a cosmos that, on the whole, is depicted as being completely unsympathetic and alien to our existence.
Superstar. That's what you are.
if you're reared with a 20th century, or shall we say an early 20th century common sense, which is based on the philosophy of science of the 19th century. You regard yourself as an accident, a biological accident, in a stupid universe, which is mechanical, but has no feelings. A vast, pointless gyration of radioactive rocks and gas in which you happen to occur. Of course, if you don't have that point of view and you are more traditional, you look upon yourself as a child of God, and therefore under authority. In other words, there's a big boss on top of all this. And you better watch your P's and Q's, because that Almighty is looking after you, with the attitude of this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. And when you look at the world in that image, or in the other image that it's a stupid mechanism, either point of view you take, you don't really belong. You're not really part of all this. Or to put it in the strongest possible way, it is quite alien to our thought that the external world, which is defined as something that happens to you, and your body itself as something that you got caught up with, it is quite alien to consider all that as you yourself. Because you see, we have such a myopic view of what oneself is.
Hi. I was wondering where you'd got to. By now you've been able to see a lot here, but not everything. When you first arrived here, there was a golden object in front of you. You remember it? It might feel distant now, but it's still there. This is a gate made by things who weren't able to see how you see. Many things entered it, but weren't able to come back out, so we kept it locked. I'm going to open it for you, but it's up to you if you want to enter. Good luck and take care. Turn to where you began. Now you can descend into the Golden Gate. So, I was able to get back to the Golden Gate on my first try, but it was extremely difficult and took a long time. My parents keep telling me to grow up, but I don't know how to grow any faster. I'm trying. So, we remember should be able to ascend, yep. And then we ascend to the sun. We ascend here. And we ascend here. Ascend here. So here we're oxygen, maybe? Fluorine, okay. Ooh, I'm assuming a little thing. Trypanosoma Brucei. go. Now I'm water bear. Is that what they're called? Tardigrade, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're on an alien planet. Yeah, not quite where I was trying to be, but it's all right. Boom. It's gonna take a miracle for me to stay alive the whole spring.
Now, we come here to an extremely important principle, which is the different points of view you get when you change your level of magnification. That is to say, you can look at something with a microscope and see it a certain way. You can look at it with the naked eye and see it in a certain way. You look at it with a telescope and you see it in another way. Now, which level of magnification is the correct one? Well, obviously, they're all correct. They're just different points of view. When we examine our bloodstreams under a microscope, we see there's one hell of a fight going on. All sorts of microorganisms are chewing each other up. And if we got overly fascinated with our view of our own bloodstreams in the microscope, we should start taking sides, which would be fatal, because the health of our organism depends on the continuance of this battle. What is, in other words, conflict at one level of magnification is harmony at a higher level. Now, could it possibly be, therefore, that we, with all our problems, conflicts, neuroses, sicknesses, political outrages, wars, tortures, and everything that goes on in human life, are a state of conflict, which can be seen in a larger perspective as a situation of harmony?
Definitely on the wrong continent. My continent didn't have log cabins. Is anybody out there? Didn't expect that, huh? this world. Just need more money.
And you could say, aha, at last I see, I got the point. I've seen how all this makes sense. But what this insight depended upon was your overcoming the illusion that space separates things. That is to say, the space, the interval between your body and mine. The interval created by birth at one end and death at the other. And then after somebody's death, then somebody else's birth. These are events with intervals between them. And normally we regard these intervals in time and these intervals in space as having no importance, no function. We tend to see the universe itself as really consisting in all the stars and galaxies. That's what it is. That's what we notice. But the space in which all this happens is sort of written off as something that isn't really there. But what one has to realize is that the space is an essential function of the things in the space. After all, you can't have separate stars unless there is a space around. Eliminate the space and you will see you couldn't have this phenomenon at all. And vice versa. You couldn't have the space. They wouldn't be there in any sense whatsoever if there weren't the bodies in it. So the bodies in the space and the space are two aspects of a single continuum. They're related together in exactly the same way as a back and a front. And you just don't get one without the other.
Aiming on the right world. This definitely isn't the right continent. Is it? Oops. Oh, hey. Oh no, that is green again.
So the moment you see that intervals, that space is connective, you can understand at once how you are not just to be exclusively defined as a flash of consciousness that occurs between two eternal darknesses. That you consider that in the darkness that comes before your birth, there was no you, and in the eternal darkness that follows your death, there is likewise no you. And I'm going to discuss these matters not by appealing to any special spooky knowledge, as if I had been traveling on the higher planes and knew all my previous incarnations and therefore could tell you authoritatively that you are much more than this individuality. I'm going to do it on a basis of complete common sense, that everybody has access to the facts.
So this is the wrong continent as well. Evil. That one. What continent? So it's interesting. Got a pond like mine did. I don't think it's... Yeah, I don't think this is it. Look around, I suppose. Igloo. Don't think this is, yeah, I don't think this is the right place. Let's make ourselves bigger. It's all frighteningly meaningless. Yet all this expectation come all the way in here. All I get is this. You. All the other homes around here running around me. Whoever set this game up clearly gave me no consideration.
Life is a pattern of immense complexity. And what you call yourself as a living organism, say, I am my whole body at the very least. Now, what is that body? That body is recognizable, and I recognize my friends when I meet them again, and you recognize me. Although the last time any of you saw me, I was absolutely something entirely different from what I am now. just as the flame of a candle is never a constant. A flame of a candle is a stream of hot gas. Only you say the flame of the candle as if it were a constant. Well, it is a recognizably constant pattern. But in exactly the same way, we are all constant patterns. And that's all we are. The only thing constant about us at all is the doing rather than the being. It's the way we behave, the way we dance. Only there's no we that dances. There's just the dancing. There is no thing that whirlpools. There is the whirlpool. And in the same way, each one of us is a very, very delightfully complex undulation of the energy of the whole universe.
Could be it. Nope. Automobile in this nice one. For me to grow any faster, better off staying right here. My road is this. Is you. Is you. Yeah, we made it back. Kind of see why it took me forever to find it last time.
Because life is basically a game of hide and seek. Because life is pulsation.
Reaching levels of personal sadness that shouldn't be possible. We're trapped. So, you might have missed what happened there. I was listening to the recording of Alan Watts, who was narrating, and it took control and it descended into the Golden Gate. So here we have a problem. I was tricked. I never should have come here. Now I can't leave. So the problem in the Golden Gate is that you are surrounded by these jerks here, and everything here hates each other. Couldn't have said it better myself. And everyone has their personal problems in here. Spent my life searching for this place, and now I wish I never found it. See? So yeah, so we can use our tool that they've taught us to figure out how to get out of this place. And not just get out of it, but solve the problem of this place. The problem I've found was that it's really difficult. Where did all my things go? I lost everything. Yeah. So, after listening to these people complain, this place is hell. For a little while, and then we can start trying to figure out our problem and get out of it. Right? So now we are warped anatomy. Worked my entire life. Put it on my kids. Told them it was for them, but really I just wanted more for myself. I blew it. All these regrets, all these mistakes, that these pieces of space junk. Please help me suicide myself. I've had enough. Please, please help me. So this sort of thing, this is hell, real, actual hell. These things can't figure it out, right? So I think I'll narrate how to get out of here once we've gone far enough. I feared it. I feared it all, and then made sure I was always as safe as possible, whatever happened. Never realized how badly this would serve me. Trash sphere. We found the president. Thought I was special. I deserved more. I mean, look at me. Do I look normal to you? I had the biggest house you've ever seen. Gigantic. Now I have this entire wasteland of garbage. Without learning anything, I've just collected a whole bunch of random space junk, right? Is it the V key? I don't even know what key it is. Looks like the piano is not part of our space junk, so let's put all these things over here. There we go, so now I'm this thing, I'm not sure what it is even. Let's see what I didn't pick up. What are these? Pancakes. Okay, I didn't quite figure that out. Grabbing some more food items. Got an onion. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Let's go ahead and throw these over here. This is an interesting one. It's moving at quite a clip. Let's see if we can grab it. Comes by. Oh. Wow, look at it. Impressive, no? What in the world is that? Is this a world? No. Oh, I've made it into unknown planet. And I made it this time, or last time I made it to here. What kinds of things went awry? Unique thing in the universe. Have to be. There's no other possibility. Really. Dark magic, okay. Parents tried to do all the right things. We never saw it that way. Parents, but really, turnips never were real to me until I became one. Stopped wanting more and more and more. Thought I wanted this, but it was all pointless. There's nothing. When you get to the end, nothing. indeed we can descend from table. Oh, we made it to one of these. Wow, you're here. What a miserable place to find yourself. Everything here is frustrated. They all want to go back to the world that created them. They're here, trapped in the world they created instead. Appears to be the only place we can't think ourselves out of. The harder we try, the more we get the more lost we get. This place isn't outside the universe, just a small corner of it seems convincing. So much so that you can't convince anyone out of it. So I've come to stay quiet, waiting for someone like you to come along and listen. You have found yourself all the way here. Probably realize I could have nothing to say to you that you don't already know. You can see that my thoughts, all the other thoughts in the world, are your thoughts. And by listening to me, you're listening to yourself. Why hold on to these thoughts then? Nothing precious about any of them. You can always let go of every single thought in your head. Of course, you'll be able to find them out in the world if you ever need reminding. So, you can see a way with your thoughts. You can see your way out here. Good luck. Open the mind. Press the M key. Hold C to empty it. Oh, I didn't do that, by the way. So yeah, they just emptied my mind for me. It's alright. Lost all of it. But it's all out there, and remind ourselves. So, desire. Wait, there they are. Trying to become this word, this letter. Oh, you can become a letter. It's amazing. Black alphabet, okay. Effort I'd have to put in to spell something out. Yeah, probably a lot. Let's do the dance though. It's an alright dance. Looks like the Order of the Overflow logo. Yeah. think you know what's next, right? Made it out of the Golden Gate. That's right.
process of growth, the basic process of biology, is one in which lower orders are always being superseded by higher orders. But the lower order can never figure out, or only very rarely figure out, what the higher order is that's taking over. And may see it as a terrible threat, as total disaster, as the very end. But can never be aware that the principle of growth always has and always will continue. Because that's what's going on. But you never know what the next step is going to be. Because if you did know, you wouldn't take it. Because it would already be past. Do you understand this? That any certainly known future is an event of which we can say, you've had it. And in that sense, it's past. When we play a game, the outcome of the game becomes certain. We at that point cancel the game and begin a new one. Because the whole zest of the thing, which takes me back to the idea that this whole thing is a hide-and-seek game, is that you don't know what the next order coming up is.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure feel like this is a good playthrough, and you got just about as much as you need to understand why I like this game. Got the lightning welt, we got the seal, the Harbour Seal. See if we can figure out what this majestic guy is. Oh, there's a new thing. We aren't going to go and read it yet. Let's figure out what this guy is. Press C. Harbour Seal, yeah. Lenticular Galaxy. Trees. Everything.